I'm Dana K. White. I am the author of Decluttering at the Speed of Life. I teach decluttering for a living, and everything I teach comes out of what I have learned in my own home from my own struggles with clutter. A big part of my struggle with clutter is my tendency to overthink. I tend to think through things really well, which serves me very well in other areas of my life, right? But when I apply the overthinking that I feel like I'm really good at to things that are physical in my house, that can often backfire and turn that thing into clutter. So here to tell you a little story about my favorite new print that I recently got from Mishmash Art Stash. Michelle Miracle, she's my cousin. She's amazing. And I have loved this specific print, the colors, everything is just so me, right? I had begged her, please make a big version of this. And so she finally did. She sent it to me and I was so excited to see it. I was like, it looks amazing. This is great. But she sent it to me in this box, right? Like it was rolled up, which is the way it was supposed to be sent to me. And so I got it and I thought, I love this so much. I need to put this up. But what's it going to take to put it up? When am I going to be going by the framing place? And I wonder how long it would take to get this framed. And then when am I going to go by the framing place and then also know that I'm going to go by again in another week, 2 weeks, however long? I don't know how long. I can just imagine how long, right? It's going to take for this thing to get framed. And so aren't there places out there that do framing online? I wonder how that works. I wonder how hard it is to ship that. Oh, that would mean going to the post office. And I do not enjoy going to the post office. All these things went through my brain and other things like, oh, framing is really expensive. Okay, I've really got to get that figured out before I do that because I don't want to be shocked. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute. I know framing is expensive, right? But my physical reaction to the idea of how expensive framing is based in when I was a college student with no money and took something to be framed and went, when they told me how much it was going to cost, right? So I know just enough to make me dangerous, right? And because of what I knew that made me dangerous, this box sat in my house in a corner, which then turned into a pile because that's what happens when something sits in the corner. My brain is like, oh, that's a place to dump stuff I don't know what to do with. All right. And so it ended up being part of a pile for a long time and I forgot about it. And then I was working on that pile because that's what I do, right? I'm like, okay, I know my process. I use my no mess decluttering process to work through any amount of mess. And so I got to this box with the print in it that I knew I loved. Right? It was not a question of whether or not I was going to keep it. It was a question of there are things to do for this item. And so I looked at the box, pulled it out, and I said, okay, what's the very smallest thing I can do to move me forward on this? And I realized I have a big frame. I have a very large frame. I wonder if this fits that frame. Now, my natural tendency is to leave the print there and think, I need to do that. That sounds like a great idea. But because part of my decluttering strategy is take it there now. Actually, the whole of my decluttering strategy is take it there now because my tendency is to go, that's a good idea. I'll have to act on that later when I have time and bandwidth and mental energy and all of the things and knowledge that I may not have right now to act on it. Instead, I say, okay, what can I do to act on this right now? So I went and I got the frame that I had and I measured it and then I measured the print and it was not the right size. And so my first reaction to that was, oh no, I thought I had an idea. And now that idea is not going to work. That frame, I'm really glad I'm not using it because it doesn't match the print. But I had thought, you know what, this is something I could do right now to go ahead and get this done. But it didn't work. And so my natural tendency was, oh no, that means I have to get it framed I'm just going to look up frame. Y'all, this frame on Amazon was not very expensive. And I thought, oh, I could just order a frame. Is it gonna be as perfect as if I go and have it professionally framed? No, it's not. Or maybe it will. I have no idea, but probably not, right? Like there's no way. But even still, if I will order this frame, it will be here, I think it was a day or two at the most, and then I can get this print on my wall. I can take it there now, right? So the take it there now is what was driving me to go ahead and do at least something. Do what I could do in the moment. What I could do was test out the frame that I had in my brain that was a possibility. It turned out that was wrong. But what I could do after that was a quick Google search, right? Of, okay, frame that's this size. Oh, that's right. I can just order a regular old frame and have it delivered to my house. Because that was something I could do right now. I got the frame. Was I worried it was going to be smashed when I got it? Of course I was, because that's how my brain works, right? But when I got it, it looked great. I put the print in. It looked great. I put the print on my wall, and now every single time I walk by it, my heart does a little, oh my goodness, I love that so much, right? I love the colors. It makes me happy. That is so much better than the feeling of it sitting in the box, in a pile, nagging at me for who knows how long that's going to happen, right? Like that could go on forever, because that's how I ended up with my house in such a disastrous state back in 2009 that I started a blog about trying to get my house under control, which has somehow turned into me teaching these things to you, right? But that core strategy of take it there now, that is the key to the no mess decluttering process, right? It is going ahead and taking the action that I can take right now, instead of putting it off for a better time, a perfect time, a different mindset, a different whatever. It's what can I do right now in this moment that ultimately got me exactly where I wanted to be. Honestly, I love it. Like it is not even temporary to me, but I had thought, okay, what can I do right now? Even if it's, getting it on the wall and it's less than perfect, that's fine. It turns out it is perfect, right? But as long as I was thinking that I'm not going to do anything until I know and feel confident and have the time and know what my schedule is going to be and blah, blah, blah to do the perfect thing, I didn't do anything. But when I let myself say, I'm going to do what I can, that's when I ended up getting it done. And it turns out it's perfect. Okay. So the take it there now strategy is about more than just taking the item immediately to its home when you answer the question, where would I look for this first? Okay. But that's the core of taking it there now. The experiences that I've had as I took little things that were not emotional, that didn't make me go, oh, it's got to be perfect because it's decor and because it's something I love and I've got to figure out all the best ways to do this. Doing this with things like fingernail clippers or high-heeled shoes or literally water bottles, whatever. The practice of taking it there now, it's never fun to take it there now, but the practice of taking it there now and experiencing the fact that when I take it there now, it's done, and experiencing the fact that things being done frees my brain to not have to ever worry about it again, because it's in a home, it's in an instinct-based home to where I don't have to sit here and go, where did I put my water bottle? Instead, I'm like, well, I put it in the place where I would look for it first. So where would I look for it first? Okay, that's where I'm going to go. And that's where it is, right? Like this whole experience of taking it there now on small things changes my perspective and gives me the oomph and the energy and the drive to say, okay, what is the thing I can do right now in the spirit of take it there now for this thing that this time I'm pretty sure it's too much. This time I'm pretty sure it's too overwhelming. It's going to be too difficult to do, but what can I do? Because I know the value of the power of things being done and taken off of my brain. Okay. Taken off of this never ending list of all the things that I need to be doing and I should be doing. So that's my story. And I hope it was helpful. I will link to Michelle's socials in the show notes. Okay. All right. I will talk to y'all later.